Call this park board meeting of Tuesday, August 2nd. Order. First item on the agenda tonight is the approval of the July 5th park board meeting minutes. Members should have received the minutes in their email packets. Does anybody have any additions or corrections? Hearing none, I need a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
Second. Been moved by Mr. Dietrich, second by Mr. Prost. All those in favor, Mr. Prost.
Aye.
Mr. Dietrich.
Aye.
Mr. Burton.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Attorney reports.
Is A still going? Is A still going? I don't see anyone here to talk about it. Okay.
No more conversation.
Okay, so I'll say consideration of agreement actually to a use agreement. It's Gregory Williamson. It's for Franciscan. I believe Heather had sent you Franciscan Health Foundation had sent some proposed edits to the use agreement that you had approved back in July, on July 5th of 2022. I did advise, and I will advise the board as well, that I do not recommend accepting these proposed changes to our standard use agreement. Those are drafted to basically keep the city and our properties safe. So I would not recommend any of those substantive changes that they made to the agreement. If you have any questions, answer that.
Marked in blue or marked in red?
I'm not sure. I didn't print off the color. I'm not sure what they changed.
Franciscan's edit should be in red.
I did not edit this document. It was all edited by Franciscan.
The Franciscan changes are in red.
Their proposed
okay.
changes are in red for legal's review, and now you have legal's recommendation for your consideration.
So they removed that they would not, they basically said they wouldn't indemnify us for anything to do with the layout of their own event. They also removed the covenant not to sue, so they will not promise not to sue us or not to be a part of a lawsuit against the city. They removed the insurance requirement where they had to have those certificates in place for 30 days after the event itself. They also, I believe that's maybe all they removed.
It's an unfair question. Why did they do all this at the last minute, so to speak?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Efforts have been made to reach out to them, to consult with them. Have not yet. It was meant to be here.
How important are they as a customer?
Excuse me?
How important are they as a customer for the Parks Department?
I mean, this is just an event. This is a use of our facility. Like Kofi said, it's not it's important as a customer. It's about protecting city and park assets. Sure.
And this is the standard use agreement that was set in place by Board of Public Works and Parks Board as well. So any changes to that form, substantive changes.
They've used our parks before. Have we had any of this?
Franciscan has used parks before.
I'm not sure that this Franciscan Health Foundation has.
Yeah.
I think Franciscan has.
Yeah, there's just a different branch. I mean, this is with, this is a branch off of the main Franciscan, but this is not ones that we've dealt with before. Okay.
But again, if Franciscan did it, this would have been the same form. This is the form we use for every single user.
Correct.
With minimal changes. If you approve alcohol, that's something that we add in, things like that.
This is Friday, September 16th. I really don't remember exactly what this event was. Can you give us a quick?
It was just basically an outreach event. Beneficiary was going for cancer research.
Which facility?
It was the amphitheater.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Sorry.
Do we, will they accept changes, or taken out their changes out of it?
I have emailed them back and said I would not recommend any of their changes to the park board, and I did not receive an email back to that.
Well, speaking for myself, it sounds like between legal and the Parks Department, you guys have done more than enough trying to outreach to them to try to come to some
this
kind
is
of.
a really good example of when we need to, lean on
Yeah,
council and what they're telling us to protect our assets.
Yeah. and I can't ever remember somebody wanting to make these kind of changes to our standard agreement. So it's kind of strange.
So just to be clear, if you were to remove that and they had an incident, the people involved in the incident would not be able to find litigation against them, but they would
The city.
the city.
They'd be able to sue Franciscan, but also the city, correct?
Both.
So it really opens us up to a wide variety of things. So what do you need? You need us to
I would say action on the a motion on the proposed changes from Franciscan
those
Health
proposed changes.
Foundation. I'm
deny
sorry,
those changes.
if that's the
Pleasure.
pleasure of the board.
So any other discussion, questions?
Well, I think we should take the advice.
Sure. So I guess what I need is a motion to approve or deny these changes asked for by Franciscan to the city's standard use agreement for use of the amphitheater.
So moved.
Second.
I'm
I
sorry,
move to
to
approve
approve or
or
deny, I'm sorry. We either can approve the amendment or deny it,
Well,
right?
correct.
We deny.
Okay,
you
so a
make,
motion to deny the proposed
Sorry,
changes.
you just make the motion and then we vote on it. And
That's true.
that's all you do.
So a motion to deny the proposed changes.
Motion to deny the changes, Mr. Burton, seconded by Mr. Dietrich. All those in favor, Mr. Burton. Mr. Dietrich.
Aye.
Mr. Prost.
Aye.
I'm an aye also.
And I'll reach out to them as we talk about it. Next item for consideration is a use agreement with St. Francis and Clare for their cross-country race. They'd like that to take place on Saturday, September 17th, from 7 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. in Freedom Park.
This is an event that we've had probably last 5 years, but it's been at Northeast. You guys, we are getting ready to ramp up to build a loop trail in Northeast Park right now, CVT grant. And so that it's been recommended to them that they have this event at Freedom Park. It's like a very respectful group. Always leave the place better than right.
Questions or comments? Hearing none, I need a motion to approve the use agreement with St. Francis and Clare for the cross-country race at Freedom Park.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Burton, seconded by Mr. Prost. All those in favor, Mr. Prost.
Aye.
Mr. Burton.
Aye.
Mr. Dietrich.
Aye.
I also motion carries.
Okay, next item for consideration is a use agreement with Greenwood Middle School for their cross-country home meets. They'd be on Wednesday, September 14th and Tuesday, September 20th from 4 o'clock p.m. till 8 o'clock p.m. at Freedom Park.
They've had these before as well. Had no issue.
It's just two of them.
Yeah,
So it looks like it, 14th and the 20th. 14th and 20th. Questions or comments?
Gonna be a lot of running in Freedom Park.
Good place for it.
You'll know where to put the path. It's all dead grass. Okay, nothing else? Hearing none, I need a motion to approve the use agreement with Greenwood Middle School for their cross-country meets at Freedom Park.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Dietrich, seconded by Mr. Prost. All those in favor, Mr. Dietrich.
Aye.
Mr. Prost.
Aye.
Mr. Burton.
Aye.
I'm an aye also, motion carries.
Consider for consideration is independent contractor agreement with Anthony Jocelyn to provide fencing classes and lessons at the community center. And it's our standard independent contractor agreement.
He's currently part-time on our payroll, and his classes are growing, everything are actually at capacity, and he's switching to independent contractor, doing all necessary insurance.
We started this last month at the field house, right?
Yes. I actually started at the community center.
Oh,
Migrated.
questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, I need a motion to approve the independent contractor agreement with Anthony Johnson.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Burton, seconded by Mr. Dietrich. All those in favor, Mr. Dietrich.
Aye.
Mr. Burton.
Aye.
Mr. Probst.
Aye.
Also, motion carries.
Next item is consideration of a use agreement with Park Pediatric for their Park Pediatric Birthday Carnival that they'd like to take place on Friday, October 28th, 2022, from 4 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. in Craig Park.
Like a customer appreciation outreach for a dentist practice. Have things like potato sack races, bean bag toss, Nerf guns, jive bowling, bucket ball, spoon race, face painting, photo booth, music, cotton candy. They're looking for food trucks as well, barbecue. I don't see any issues. I will say that I don't want to get on record too, that we decided to be no bounce houses. This just screams bounce houses to me. So I want to make sure that we're all on board on that. If there is no bounce houses allowed on this. Rental of the shelter will be required. So we'll take care of that as well. I personally don't see any red flags on this application.
Where are they located? Their business?
Okay, Smith Valley.
Pardon me?
Smith Valley 135.
Okay.
Maintenance doesn't see an issue with this on a Friday night. Having a mess to clean up afterwards.
Jim.
You don't see any issues with this?
No, I don't think so.
Looks like they're got big doings going on. So
Sounds like a good time.
yeah, it does. Sounds like a very good time. Okay. Questions or comments? Any others? Hearing none, I need a motion to approve the use agreement with Park Pediatrics for their birthday carnival celebration.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Dietrich and seconded by Mr. Probst. All those in favor? Mr. Probst.
Aye.
Mr. Dietrich.
Aye.
Mr. Burton.
Aye.
I'm an aye also. Motion carries.
Actually, one more item. I don't know if it made it on the agenda, but it is an amendment to a public works contract with Superior Ground Cover. You had already approved it. There was $204 discrepancy between the amount that was approved. The new total will be $22,474. That was for additional material for that project.
So it's an additional $204.
It's just an additional $204.
I don't have a problem with that, but with the scope of 22,000, I don't understand why you come after $200.
People like to be paid, I think.
Charity, not charitable.
No, it just doesn't make sense.
Can you refresh our memories on what they're doing wrong?
Yeah, that was to go around all of the play amenities, playgrounds, and top up the safety service material.
They've already done that?
They've blown, oh yeah.
Okay.
They've blown all that.
Okay. That's a job.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, I need a motion to approve the amendment to the contract with Superior Ground Cover.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Dietrich, second by Mr. Probst. All those in favor? Mr. Dietrich.
Aye.
Mr. Burton.
Aye.
Mr. Probst.
Aye.
I'm an aye also. Motion carries.
that's all I have.
And circling back to that thing with Franciscan, if we could follow up on that, I'm just real curious if they ever do contact either office and what the response is if we end up going through.
We will. I will emphasize though that, for lack of a better term, the ball is in their court.
Sure, and that's what I'm getting at. I mean, I think you guys went above and beyond trying to reach out to them, and if they just totally ignore us, then we can respond. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is user fees, part-time/seasonal employees.
So your guys' consideration, we would like to offer free memberships to the Greenwood Community Center and Greenwood Fieldhouse to Parks and Recreation part-time and seasonal employees. Terms of this would be that the membership would start immediately at the time of employment. If the employee works for the department for 10 weeks, they will then get their membership for the full year from hire date. However, if employment is terminated prior to the 10-week period, the membership will also end at that same time. The reason for this incentive is it's a very competitive market. Just gives us another kind of tool to hopefully building that market and get some people in our parks maintenance, Greenwood Springs, Fieldhouse, Community Center as well. That demand is just going to constantly be growing for us.
So this covers all part-time, all seasonals, Freedom Springs.
So the 10-week, we worked it out today. The 10-week period will also cover like summer camp counselors as well, because that'll soon, that'll ultimately be an issue as well, trying to get that staff. So summer camp counselor before and after school, any seasonal part-time staff Jim has, any lifeguards, session workers, any part-time workers that Ricky's have, seasonal and part-time.
Okay.
And this is only for that employee. It doesn't extend anything beyond that.
Just the individual, not the individual and their families.
That's correct. And we'll
Cousins
probably
and
get a resolution on this.
Yes.
Yeah. Get that drafted.
I have no issue.
Okay.
I think it's a great idea. It doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah. No, well, we're going to benefit from it. I mean, we invest in these. We invest in our employees. This is a good way to incentivize.
Well, one of the most valuable things you can get is an employee that comes back year after year to retrain.
Yeah. Well, I will emphasize once again, just to say it, it's for only the field house and the community center. Right.
So if you would want to approve that, I would ask for a motion to approve the user fee change and to direct legal to draft a resolution based on what you've just approved.
Okay. Need a motion to approve the user fee change for part-time and seasonal employees and direct legal to draft
A resolution.
Resolution.
Reflecting those changes.
reflecting those changes.
So
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Burton, seconded by Mr. Probst. All those in favor? Mr. Probst.
Aye.
Mr. Burton.
aye.
Mr. Dietrich.
Aye.
And I'm an aye also. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the foundation.
Happy to answer any questions. It'll be monthly. Still looking for board members.
What's the, can we approve a,
You approved the gaming, so you approved 50/50
the canopy?
The shade structure.
Shade structure.
Yep, and the shade structure, that has been ordered.
Yeah, okay.
And we've also got a right of entry with that contractor well done, so that's covered. We'll probably look at fall lead time on that.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, next item is the controller report. I believe Rick's here.
Good afternoon. Financials were sent out yesterday. Main things, if we're looking at the Parks Operating Fund, receipts are running ahead of expenses right now. For the year, $480,000. For the month specifically, it was $29,300. That's to be expected with the income for Freedom Springs really kind of pushing that right now. As we get into the next couple months, that gap will close and we'll be a lot closer to even, and we'll get our next property tax draw. Food and beverage tax, everything there is running right on target as far as budget goes. Quite a bit of banking there. S&R fund, you'll see that for the month of July, expenses exceeded revenues by $122,000. For the year, we've still banked $138,000. What I see there is that all those programs that we reserved in the early months started happening during the summer. Now they're paying out, so that's why we're catching up that gap. But you're still ending the year or ending the month with $500,000 in that account, so that's a pretty strong balance. And then finally, the park impact fee. That one is up month to date. We're up $57,000, and for the year, $681,000. The biggest piece of that being the maps project. Questions on the page?
Strong. Looks good. Okay, thank you, Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
Next item on the agenda is the aquatics report.
We are starting to get to the tail end of our season, so we got just about a month left of the season left. We have wrapped up all of our groups and lesson sessions. Those are all completed, all done. We still are going into our private lessons for August, which have already been scheduled, and people have reached out to their instructors, and instructors have reached back, and they're starting to kind of get those ramped up. Adult night, our last adult night's going to be on August 5th, which is this upcoming Friday. And then we also have Puppy Palooza at the end of the season on September 10th. So that's kind of our last like hurrah before we start having to tear everything down, start getting it winterized. Pool hours starting August 8th will be changing a little bit through the week. So Monday through Friday, we'll be closing at 6 versus 8. But weekends will remain the same. So Saturdays are still going to be 11 to 8, and Sundays are still going to be 12 to 6.
No problem keeping staff through the end of the season?
No, so usually about that August 8th time, usually I have to get up and I will lifeguard during like the morning time. But then after high school's let out, then a lot of our kids will start coming back there and lifeguard in the evening times. A lot of our college students at that point tend to getting ready to go to college and school, things like that. So usually I get up in the chair and no harm, no foul there. I just kind of change pace.
Okay.
But yeah, it seems we seem to get a pretty we have a pretty good system going on as far as when kids go back to school.
Sounds good. Thank you, Brooke.
Yep.
Parks report.
You'll have my report in front of you. I hope. If you have any questions, you're more than happy to answer.
Do we make police reports when we have vandalism instances?
We do
if it rises to the level, we've got to send people out, to.
If
I know you can't do it every single time.
they paint a smiley face on the bridge, no. If there's profanity or drawings, yeah, or gang symbols, especially if there's gang symbols, the cops cannot be.
Okay.
It's been hard to make out what it looks.
Can't leave things alone. And are you changing the lights at you're contracting that out, right? The lights in the softball and tennis courts?
Yeah, that's we contract that out. It's just a matter of getting the lights out.
Yeah.
They've been ordered. He got a surplus of them, and he found some on the shelf, and now they're out.
Okay.
Yeah, with fall session coming up, so I'll be out there.
Anything else for Jim? Thank you, Jim. Trails. Trails? Go to the recreation report.
Nick is out today, but I can answer any questions you have. Summer camp ended last week. It was pretty phenomenal this year. Twice as many people as we've had in the past. Erin and her team did an awesome job with it. A couple concerts left. They had Nerf on the Turf last week, which was a first time event. Went really well, almost 50 kids there, I think. They've added baseball lessons now. Those started this week. So it's great.
Love seeing these new programs in the field house.
Field house is really starting to come into its identity. Now we're starting to get all these programs on board. It's really starting to get.
I hear Aaron can't wait for summer camp to start back up.
Oh, actually, an education station starts now.
I don't know where you heard that from.
Okay. Thanks, Jen. Field house report.
Hello. I should have a copy of the field house report. Like Jen said, summer camp ended on Friday, and before and after school will start on Wednesday. We'll be hosting that. It's been pretty quiet the last couple of days, so I've been working with the rec department to try to figure out some daytime programs we can do. I think pickleball, we're going to lean on that a lot. So maybe we do clinics already. We have our open play times. Then we've also been talking about maybe doing some leagues here soon during the day. Also tossing around some toddler programs as well. I think we can do every day when the kids are in school. And then the employees have been doing a great job. The building clean. It looks great still. And I have a few going back to college here soon, so we'll be looking for more.
How many pickleball courts are in the field house?
We have 4. We have 3 on our basketball court and then 1 on our practice court.
You guys ever do indoor pickleball tournaments?
We actually had an outdoor pickleball tournament over the.
Well, yeah,
I think it rained and they came inside and used our.
That's why I brought it up, because I saw how much that thing got a ton of publicity.
The 3-day pickleball.
The Twins put on the tournament. Yeah. Yeah.
I think the organizer there had a lot of connections.
Oh yeah. Very connected.
It looks like you're getting a big hit on day passes. I mean, that's a lot of day passes.
That's nothing for the pool, but that's pretty good for us. It's like a day after the pool.
Jealous?
You guys will notice that. Like day passes are going to be tough, especially with our programs coming in. So it might be a basketball night, but hey, sorry, we actually have youth basketball going on tonight. Just keep that in mind when the numbers come out.
Might be a nice problem to have.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, Ricky?
I know.
Thanks, sir. Community center report.
Sharon and Nick are on vacation together.
Oh my gosh.
Nope. I have questions. Other business from the public? Any other business from the board? I believe everybody copy the claim sheet. If there are no additions or corrections, it stands as presented. And if there's no other business come before this board, this meeting is adjourned.